Good morning, ASU family and friends. Good morning. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. This is Convocation 2017. There is no place like homecoming. Would you please stand for the presentation of colors and remain standing for our national anthem. Thank you, ASU family and friends. I'm Flora Devine. I'm acting Vice President for Advancement, and I have the honor of presiding during today's convocation, which, by the way, also means that I'm the timekeeper, the official timekeeper. Homecoming is a very special time for our campus and our community. Our theme this year, thanks to our wonderful students, is There is no place like homecoming, and that theme says it all. A mentor of mine was fond of saying that community is not a place, community is what is taking place. So what is taking place in Albany, Georgia this week is nothing less than phenomenal, and it's all thanks to all of you. Please give yourselves a round of applause for Homecoming 2017 and for being here. Our program today will begin with an invocation by Mr. Santo Nina, the reigning Mr. Albany State University. Mr. Nina will be followed by the reigning Miss Albany State University, Ms. Wanisa Francis, who will bring an official welcome.
Good morning. Can everybody please bow their heads? Lord, Heavenly Father, we come to you, Lord, to first thank you, Lord, for waking us up this morning. There's no place like homecoming, Lord, and we indeed know that here at the unsinkable Albany State University, Lord. We thank you for the trials and tribulations that you take us through, Lord. We thank you for the good, the bad. We thank you for the highs and lows, Lord, and we know that an institution built like this will never go away, Lord. We thank you for that. We thank you for a strong education, Lord. We thank you for a strong, good staff who love the students, Lord. We thank you for strong athletic programs, Lord. I want to ask that each program here today is blessed, Lord. Thank you for coming out. We ask that you have a successful season, Lord. And it's indeed no place like homecoming, Lord. And there's so much love here for Albany State University in Albany, Georgia, Lord. And I just ask that you continue to watch over us, guide us, Lord, protect us, keep us safe, keep our enemies close, Lord. And I just ask that we continue to fight and get through whatever is thrown at us, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
When you are unmovable, you can do the unthinkable. And when you can do the unthinkable, you are considered unsinkable. Good morning, alumni, family, friends, students, faculty, and staff. Welcome home. There is truly no place like homecoming when you are the product of the best HBCU to grace the land. So I pray that you have, I pray that you have a happy and safe homecoming, and remember that there is no place like home. Welcome home. I am Wanisha Francis, Miss Albany State University. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nina and Ms. Francis. Don't we have wonderful students here at Albany State University? We have wonderful student leaders. They represent the best of us, and they represent the future of us. We are also honored today to have representatives of the City of Albany and Dougherty County governing bodies to bring greetings from the City of Albany, Georgia, representing the ASU Mighty Class of 1970. Please welcome to the podium the Honorable Dorothy Hubbard, Mayor of the City of Albany.
Good morning, Ram.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ram. Happy homecoming. Oh, isn't that a wonderful feeling? It is a wonderful feeling to be in Ram Nation and to feel that blue and gold spirit floating in the air. It's the feeling that lets you know that there is no place like homecoming. It is always an honor for me to be in the presence of my Ram brothers and sisters. I bring you greetings as the mayor of this great city, representing the Board of Commissioners, city staff, and 77,500 residents who call Albany, Georgia, home. As usual, we have painted the town blue and gold, especially for you. We have streamers and ribbons and signs and decorated storefronts. We have rolled out the welcome mat, and everyone in our Hospitality and Visitors Bureau is ready to make your stay an enjoyable one. The ram heads in downtown Albany have been refurbished, and Ray Charles is singing on the plaza. Forever. We know that you have come home from all over the country for this grand homecoming celebration, and we want it to be a memorable one because, as has been said, there truly is no place like home, and certainly there is no place like home at Albany State University. Now, just so you know, we understand and appreciate the economic impact that you will have on our city this weekend. All of our motels are booked to capacity. Our restaurants have ordered extra food in anticipation of your coming. This weekend is larger than any economic impact of any other weekend in Albany, Georgia. On Monday of this week, I signed a proclamation declaring this Blue and Gold Week. And I told our head coach, I told him, we don't lose homecoming. We know you're new, coach. We know you're new, coach, but we don't lose homecoming. So tomorrow, we want you to take care of business with Morehouse. All right. So as a result of having painted the town blue and gold just for you, we want you to have a good time. Enjoy the ambiance of the blue and gold spirit that will be floating throughout our city this weekend. Do not text and drive. If you drink, get a designated driver. And as in past years, do not get a ticket because the mayor is not in the ticket fixing business. We do want you, however, to enjoy this weekend, reminisce, tell a few jokes, have some fun, spend lots of money, and enjoy this homecoming celebration. Greetings and welcome home, Rams. Don't forget what I told you.
Thank you, Mayor Hubbard. You know, it's not every university that can boast the #1 cheerleader for the university is actually the mayor. Thank you so much. On Monday, I would share this also. When she took the podium, she said, "It's homecoming, y'all." And it absolutely is. Chris Cahilas could not be with us today because he has a deposition in court. So we've got the next best person representing county government. Please give a warm welcome to the Honorable Michael Fowler, Dougherty County Coroner.
Good morning. I know most time you people see me, they know someone have died. The Ram is not dead this morning. We are alive and well. I'm gonna be at the game. I'm announcing the other team. As Mayor said, that we don't lose. But I bring greetings on behalf of the Dougherty County Commissioner's Office and also the Dougherty County Coroner's Office. Albany State Homecoming is one of the largest economic and social events in the community. Most important, it is a time where thousands of people come together to fellowship and remember the good time. Albany State have produced some of the greatest leaders, not only in our community, but across the world. We are grateful to have each and every one of you here this morning, and we want you to enjoy yourself while you're here. And Mayor said, don't enjoy yourself too much, but enjoy yourself, because we don't want no one in trouble. And I do not want to have to come pronounce no one. I want everyone to stay safe so I can enjoy the game. I do not want my beeper to go off. We are grateful to have each of you here to this weekend. It is our hope that everyone have a great time and the many events that are planned for this weekend, whether it's a concert, the game, the parade, or worship service of your choice. We anticipate that you have a great time this weekend, and it's going to be a remembrance that you'll never forget. We thank each and every one of you for being the one that was involved in putting this together, the planning part of it. We're looking forward to seeing you at the game, the parade, and again, want to say, go Ram.
Thank you, Mr. Fowler. I'll have to share this a little bit. On yesterday afternoon, I saw Mr. Fowler wandering around on the West Campus. He was looking for tickets for the Alumni Gala. And he found them. He was there last night. So thank you so much for stepping in and bringing those remarks on behalf of the county government. Now, next, representing the ASU class of 1966 is the president of the ASU National Alumni Association, Mr. William Johnson. Please welcome him to the podium.
Dr. Dunning, other platform participants, I need some help, Albany State alumni. Would you please raise your hand? Come on, help me out, please. Looking at all the blue and gold and raising of hands, look like we are all that's at home today, but we want you to bring with you visitors and friends so they can get some of this good hospitality that we always share with people who visit with us and participate with us. The same cheer, enthusiasm that you're showing here this morning, we want you to carry it with you full weekend and let others know that they're always welcome to come home with us, especially at homecoming. I was sitting there thinking, experience I had this morning on the way here, Dougherty County patrolman stopped me and asked me where was I going, and I told him, and he gave me a lecture, and he said he wanted me to pass the word that for everybody to enjoy themselves, but to slow down and observe the law. Let's say that to you. Have a good homecoming.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. We appreciate that advice, and we appreciate your greetings. Now to bring greetings on behalf of the ASU Faculty Senate is the interim president, Ms. Carol Ann Ham. Ms. Ham.
Good morning. Good to see everyone. Greetings to faculty, staff, administration, alumni, and the alumni that will be ours in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and our newest group, 2021. We look forward to having you in the fold, so welcome. On behalf of the Faculty Senate, I would like to extend a warm welcome home. Attending the Albany State University 2017 homecoming, we're glad to see you. Whether this is your first homecoming, your fifth, or you're somewhere in the double digits, we're thrilled to have you here. A house is just a house, but it's the people who make it a home. You are what make Albany State University more than an institution of higher learning. You make it a home. You may have noticed a few changes, but that's the nature of homes. People come and go, renovations are made, exteriors are updated, and upgrades are done, but no matter what, it is still home. The ties that bind are strong and welcoming. There's always room for new members to be added to the fold. That is what keeps a home lively and vital when there's something new. We love listening to the old stories, but we also are excited to hear the new stories that will soon join the lexicon of cherished memories of our home, Albany State University. Homecoming is a special time for the faculty. We have the privilege of accompanying future alumni on their academic journey through Albany State. We have a front row seat as we watch them leave the nest after graduation to go on and accomplish extraordinary things. We cherish the opportunity we have to meet with our returning alumni who bring stories of where their paths have taken them in life and what they have been doing since last we met. We are always happy when those paths bring you back home. As faculty, we're proud to serve an institution with a heritage as rich as Albany State University. If you're listening to me, you have contributed to that heritage in some way, and we thank you. We also want to say we're glad to see you. Hope you can stay a while, and welcome home.
Thank you, Ms. Ham. It's great to have the voice of the faculty in the room. Thank you for bringing those greetings. Following the next selection by the ASU Marching Rams Show Band, you will hear from Mr. Andre Armour, President of the ASU Government Association, who will introduce the two convocation addresses. Thank you.
Good morning, Golden Rooms. Okay, that sounds pretty good, guys. What they see is what they'll be. So we know, since we see our successful alumni, that we will be successful. Good morning, everyone. My name is Andre Armour, a student in the College of Business, and I have the pleasure of serving as your 2017-2018 SGA President. And I also have the pleasure of reading the bios of some of our esteemed alumni on today. Starting with Dr. William R. Shepard. William R. Shepard, a native of Fort Gaines, Georgia, earned the Bachelor of Arts degree in Health and Physical Science from Albany State College in 1967. He got the Master of the Arts degree from Clark Atlanta University. The Master of Arts degree from Georgia State University in 1980, and the educational doctoral degree in administration from Clark Atlanta University in 1996. Dr. Shepard has been heralded as one of the most innovative, dynamic leaders of contemporary inner-city school reform. In the area of the school reform, he has been in demand as a panelist and presenter at education conferences here and abroad. Most notably, in July 2000, he presented his paper, Whole School Reform, Implementation of High Schools That Work, Key Practices for Revitalizing Urban Schools, at the 4th Annual Oxford International Roundtable on the Superintendency and the Apprenticeship in Oxford, England. Dr. Shepard also served on the Harvard University Principal Center Advisory Board. In 2006, he received the Educator of the Year Award from the Concerned Black Clergy Association. Dr. Shepard has been married for 46 years to Ms. Shepard, and they are the parents of William R. Shepard, Jr. He is also a lifetime member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Dr. William R. Shepard.
Thank you, Andre. Thank you, class of 67. To Dr. Donnan, to First Lady Donnan, Convocation participants, class of 67, alumni, students, and visitors. It is indeed a privilege and a pleasure for me to be here with you today as one of your convocation speakers. Truly, it is an honor, and I'm humbled by the invitation. But I first must admit that I did all I could do to get out of this obligation. But I had 3 of my classmates that were relentless. Sue Bivens Fontaine, Carolyn Jernigan Glenn, and our class president, S.T. Hobbs. And I said to them, I said, you know, I'm just not a speaker, and I just don't do that kind of thing. And Carolyn says to me, do you really believe in the Constitution of the United States? I said, I do. S.T. said, do you believe in the Bill of Rights? Where are you going with this, S.T.? Yes, I do. And Sue said, do you believe in the freedom of speech? Then you're going to give a free speech. Then from the alumni office, Sue Polite Williams further explained to me that the best speeches at ASU are always very, very short. So in conclusion, I have enjoyed being with you today. Most seriously, last spring during the graduation activities, I heard our president, Dr. Donnan, articulate his vision of Albany State University becoming a world-class university, regional university, where all students can stay home and get a quality world-class education. This being a key part of the vision, I would like to speak briefly to 4 pillars. I refer to them as the pillars of progress that ensures that there is no place like home at ASU. The pillars are the administration, faculty, and staff, the student body, the alumni, and the culture and extracurricular programs. To the faculty, I say, the best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see. Certainly this administration, this faculty, and this staff have demonstrated the capacity and commitment of producing outstanding students who are innovative and championship thinkers. As a high school principal, I encourage many of my students to attend my beloved alma mater. And I love the wonderful reality that the majority of them came back home with their degrees. My wife and I established a homecoming practice of providing lunch for all of my students who were enrolled at ASU. They would find me around the Capitol plot or on the mall. We were buying so many lunches that I had to borrow gas money from Sue Bivens, S.T. Hobbs, if you can believe that, and Curtis Williams and Donnie DeVillas just to get back to Atlanta. I'm especially proud of Mashante Glass, who graduated in '07 from ASU. And a few years later, she received her PhD from FAMU in pharmaceutical sciences. Clearly, her collegiate foundation was established and nurtured in the science department right here, under the leadership of Dr. Saeed Rooster. Her mentor was Dr. Ashot Jain. I'm also sure that several principals throughout the land can boast as I have about the good work that's done here at ASU with the faculty. And faculty, we applaud you for this work, and we encourage you as you continue to explore and find ways to prepare students for the future global interests and the future global economy. Now, faculty, 2 of the captains on the football team, Zane Fields and Emmanuel Brown, said, and the entire defensive squads promise a shutout if you show up for the game. To the students of ASU, I say that I'm celebrating my golden reunion. Having graduated 50 years ago, I reserve the right to be a little senile and a little out of touch from your perspective. But in preparing to address you, I was tempted to take a page from our president and tweet you at 3:30 this morning. Since it's not working that well for him, I changed my mind on that. And I think I've come to the place where I really understand what the poet, the Khalil Gibran, was saying in his amazing work, The Prophet. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life longing for itself. They come through you, but they are not yours. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls belong in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. I'd like to tell you a quick story. The parents of the twins were quite concerned about the extreme behaviors of their children. One child was extremely pessimistic, and the other one was overly optimistic. The parents decided at Christmas to work on altering the behaviors of their boys. So in the room of the pessimistic child, they placed every toy imaginable, video games, clothes, anything this child could possibly want, they put it in the room. In the optimistic child room, they put a pile of manure. Being from South Georgia, you should know what manure is. The pessimistic child looked at all those toys and gifts and began to complain. All these toys, they just got to be cheap and inferior. And when will I have time to do homework and then play with all this stuff? It is ridiculous for anybody to have that one complaint after the other. All of a sudden, great jubilation came from the room of the optimistic child. Whoopee, whoopee, whoopee. And the parents rushed to the room, and the child was flinging manure all in the air. And they say, my goodness, son, what is your problem? With all this manure in here, it just gotta be a pony under there somewhere. I'm encouraging you to approach each day, students, with enthusiasm, just like the optimistic child. Don't worry about the challenge. Be enthused about whatever. And develop those personality traits that will transcend time. Humility, trustworthiness, self-confidence, self-awareness, self-discipline. And always have something that you're engaged in that's bigger than you. And never forget your fellow man. I know that your main goal here at ASU is to graduate. Some of you would do it in 4 years, some of you would do it in 5 years, some of you would do it in 15 years. In fact, we had a classmate that was here when I was here. He graduated the same year I retired. But do not leave without your degree. For college graduation makes the short list of life's big moments. And during graduation season, Hallmarks and Mahogany's graduation cards dominate the card section. It's incredible how Hallmark and Mahogany have a monopoly on memories. But Hallmark and Mahogany will not be able to define what happened here or what happens after here. So we suggest that you take out a blank card and hold that card for 50 years. And when you're scrolling down memory lane looking at those cards, and you come across that blank card, write down. And what you write is what you will have and what you will have done. There are 50-year alums here today that's still writing on those blank cards. To my fellow alums, my relationship with Albany State University actually started in 1951 when my mother graduated. My wife of 47 years, Beretta Smith Shepard, is a 1970 graduate, and my daughter-in-law, Kaylin Walker Shepard, is a 2004 graduate. And my wife is here with me today. So you see that my love and relationships with ASU are deep and generational. As an alum, it is certainly a joy to take a quick trip back down memory lane. In 1963, I, along with 8 of my high school classmates, came to Albany State College from Spade High School in Fort Gaines, Georgia. Fort Gaines, Georgia is located 60 miles west of here and is the 10th smallest town in the state. We came on the back of Cousin Jethro's truck. That's James Hanks' daddy. We were as green as a row of collards. To us, Albany was a big city. James Hanks and I must have spent the first couple of Sundays down on Oglethorpe Avenue just staring up at the massive 2-story Sears building. We would then swing back by Jimmy's Hot Dogs and pick up 10-cent hot dogs each and eat them as we walked back to the campus. I especially enjoyed going to Albany's club, one of the clubs, the Cabin in the Pines. I could not legally go because I was not 21. I would borrow Richard Denny's driver's license. He was 26 and I was 18. He was such a good friend. He was much older than the rest of the freshmen. We called him Tag, Teenage Granddaddy. We had our special little group. We studied together. We partied together. And with the exception of James Cozy, we all graduated together. It is truly wonderful to come home for homecoming. Over the past 54 years, homecomings, I have missed 4 homecomings. And I have some classmates like James Cozy who has missed only 1. And remarkably, St. Hobbs has missed 2 homecomings since 1960. He had nothing else to do. It is truly a blessing to join my classmates as we celebrate our golden reunion. 50 years is a long time, and it seems just like yesterday. I've only gotten 1 slap this weekend. This lady says to me very excitedly, "Shep," and I says equally excitedly, "Yes. Do you remember me?" Well, I didn't remember her. She said, "You were in my class." I said, "Well, what did you teach?" I was always, William Walker, I was always fascinated by the academic conversations that occurred between students and faculty members. For example, Terry Nelson, a very popular student on campus and a football player, says to Mr. Largent, an English teacher, "Mr. Largent, I disagree with the grade of F that you gave me for the quarter." "Well, Terry, I disagree also, but I couldn't find a lower one to give you." On a more serious note, our class, the class of '67, pledged to raise $100,000 and celebrate our reunion. And before I forget, I got them watching me. I'm going to make some of my down payment. Hold that, Dr. Dunn, until the first. Otherwise, it might bounce you all around campus. St. and Emma Hobbs, Carolyn Jernigan Glenn, Sue Bivens Fontaine, Gladys Bryant, Obzine Peterman Shorter, James Hassan Hanks, James Cozier, and Jean Lynn have worked very hard in leading this effort. We respectfully request that each alum of the class of '67 gives $1,500 for our golden reunion. Several have committed more, several have given more. But equally as important as the single gift, we ask all our class and all classes to commit to yearly sustaining gifts for our alma mater. There's strength in numbers when we do this. In talking with 2 of our football captains, Jamie Glenn and McKinley Habershan, they said, "Tell the alums, if you shorten your tailgate time and show up for the game, you will hear that cannon firing all afternoon as we run up the score against the Morehouse Tigers." The 4th pillar of promise for instructional advancement is the extracurricular and cultural programs. And I'm going to do like Elizabeth Taylor did her 7th husband. I'm not going to keep you much longer. The arts, the bands, and the culture programs, and of course the athletic program. It is a pleasure to congratulate our recently appointed athletic director, Ms. Sherry Gordon. Also, we welcome Coach Gabe Gardenia and his staff to his first football season and his first homecoming. And before we go further, it is my light to give a shout out to drum majors Desiree Watson, Dontravius Pax, Brandon Heater, and the fabulous Rams Rose Bowl Parade Band. And it's a wonderful time for me to call the name of Albert Half-Head Smith. Wave at him, Half-Head. We expect the most awesome halftime show ever. Certainly Miss ASU, Wanicia Francis, and Mr. ASU, Santonina, and the court deserve the absolute best. And by the way, Miss Francis, we have Miss ASU from the class of 1967 here today, Miss Perry Lovelace Peters. And her little sister should be out there somewhere, Linda Lovelace, Miss ASU of 1972. Is Linda here? There she is. We got that family 2 for 1. Perhaps all of us remember the movie Remember the Titans, starring Denzel Washington. Well, we have our own version of the Titans here at ASU. The 1960 Rams football team, coached by the legendary coach Obie O'Neill. Not only were they undefeated, they were also unscored upon. And I saw one of them out there. Is it still okay to call you Skibo Ransom? I saw Ransom out there on that team. We should also remember all of the great teams in SIAC Conference Championships coached by Coach Hamp Smith and Coach Mike White. Over a 30-year period, the two gentlemen combined for 15 SIAC championships. Having said that, Coach G, we're going to get behind this team, and Ms. Gordon, we will support all of our teams as they pursue all ASU records. You know, you just can't call everybody's name. And I'm going to make a mistake and I'm going to close. But it would also be remiss if I could not mention the name of Coach Robert Rainey and Coach Edith Pearl Daniels. They rule the SCAC. And the best flow general I ever saw is in with us today, Tommy Little Man Jordan, my man. He's out there somewhere. Hundreds of names of athletes should be made. Y'all have heard them all, the Milton Bossics, the Jones boys, Cowboy Ellis, and you know all those great names. But with the time constraint this morning, I can't adequately express all that's been done here at the school. But I must inform you, since its inception in the SIAC, that ASU, all sports, have had 106 SIAC championships. And Coach Robert Cross accounted for 25 of those 106 championships in cross country and track and field. As I reflect on our past, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the phenomenal woman, 1948 Olympian gold medalist, Alice Coachman. An Albany alum of the class of 1949, and this is what you want to remember. She was the first black woman in the world to get an Olympic gold medal in the world. Truly, there's no place like home, and nothing compares with Albany State University's homecoming. It just doesn't get better than this. If I can break one of those things you shouldn't say, it ain't gonna get better. Now you know it's for real. We are truly blessed to have such a beloved institution. If I may be a prophetic, I see the 4 pillars of this institution working collaboratively as a well-oiled machine in achieving the vision of our president, President Dunning. In closing, I leave our students with the closing words of the famous Broadway play, Pearlie. May the Constitution of the United States go with you. May the Declaration of Independence stand by you. May the Bill of Rights protect you, and let your only boundaries be the limitations of your own dreams. In the words of Barack Obama, our former president, dream big. Go Rams!
Thank you, Dr. Shepherd. Thank you. Would you come forward, please? Pillars of Progress. Thank you so much for those words of wisdom. And you all know now why he was asked to give the address, right? Thank you. And we also appreciate the challenge you gave out to other classes to make that $100,000 commitment. Am I right?
No, the next class goes for 150.
All right.
1,000 they do.
And I think I heard the class say we accept.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Look out, Lloyd. 68.
Class 18 will be going for 200,000. Up next, guys, we have our next speaker, Ms. Sharika L. Nelson. With nearly 20 years of experience in human resources, Ms. Sharika L. Nelson is a seasoned leader with a unique ability to translate business goals into people strategy. Her work focuses on creating organizations that reflect the world and allow individuals to be their authentic self and thrive. Ms. Nelson currently serves as the Diversity Business Partner Global Marketing Solutions for Facebook. In her current role, she serves as the first point of contact for diversity and inclusion for the GMS organization, and is uniquely positioned to collaborate with senior leadership, cross-functional partners, and employees. In her role, she focuses on providing consultative insights to the business through data and developing innovative talent attraction. Solutions and engagement initiatives for employees are some of the things that Ms. Nelson focuses on. Prior to joining Facebook, Ms. Nelson serves as the Global Director of Diversity Recruiting Programs for Groupon Incorporated. And a 1999 graduate of Albany State University, Ms. Nelson was active in several organizations while matriculating, which including serving as SJ Vice President and becoming a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, of which she has been a financial member for 20 years and is currently an active member of the Berkeley Bay Area Alumni Chapter. While her paths have led her to Silicon Valley, Ms. Nelson is originally from Sylvester, Georgia, and is the daughter of State Command Sergeant Major James and Patricia Nelson. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to Ms. Sharika L. Nelson.
To Dr. Dunning, President of our esteemed university, our First Lady, Mrs. Dunning, Mr. William Johnson, President of our National Alumni Association, to the Honorable Dorothy Hubbard, Mayor of Albany, the Honorable Michael Fowler, Dr. William Shepherd, and all those that I'm honored to share this stage with. Good morning. And to the friends, family, and members of the Golden Ram family, it's homecoming, baby. And I don't know about you, but I feel as if I've been waiting on this weekend since last homecoming. Now, I would be remiss if I did not take a moment to recognize my foundations, my parents, James and Patricia Nelson, my sibling, Michelle, my brother, Michael, my nephew, Chris, and other members of my extended family. And as I look around, I see there are many other faces that I recognize in the audience that have supported and guided me to this moment in my journey, and I'm thankful for each and every one of you. Now, family, I had to tell you, when they called me with the invitation to speak at Convocation, I went through a range of emotions. First, there was a little bit of disbelief. I was like, do they not remember me from college and they want to give me a microphone again? There was joy. I was nervous. I was excited, and I was also quite surprised that I still qualify to be a young alumni. But mostly, I was humbled. For you see, there is absolutely nothing like being recognized by your own. And today, I remain grounded in humility because it is an honor to come home and stand before my family. And I know that I stand here today a result of this village's lessons, your support, your prayers, tears, and love. Oh, Albany State, there is truly no place like home. And for me, this university and members of my RAM family will always be my home. Now, I must tell you, it's a long journey coming from Sylvester, Georgia to Silicon Valley. Let me say that again. It has been a long, long journey from Sylvester, Georgia to Silicon Valley. In fact, there have been 5,406,720 physical steps between the two. But there have been even more miles of emotional, spiritual, and mental challenge. To bring me to this moment, I have been underemployed and I have been unemployed. There have been times when not only did I not have a seat at the table, I couldn't even find the table. I have faced microaggressions for reasons as simple as having the audacity to be. And in 2017, there are still times when I am the first and only in the room. Oh, but through it all, I may have stumbled, but I have not fallen. I have bent, but my God, I have not been broken. And I am thankful for every single step that has brought me here today, that have brought me to this moment in my journey, family that has brought me home. And when I think about my journey, starting just about 20 miles up the road in little old Sylvester, Georgia, I think of my grandparents. With little to no formal education of their own, they instilled in my parents and me the desire to strive for greater. And in particular, I think about my maternal grandmother, Alice. And the older I get, the more I realize, with an 8th grade education, the wisdom that she shared and carried was simply priceless. Now, anybody who knew my grandmother Alice, they knew, hands down, she made the best pound cakes in all of Worth County. Thank you for the amen, I appreciate that. And I recall how we would stay up late and she would just randomly cook a pound cake 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and we would talk into the night. And one school night, we were up, and I don't remember exactly what I was telling her. And maybe she didn't use these exact words, but this lesson sticks out to me even today. I recall her telling me, Tank, that's my nickname, and my grandmother never called me by my real first name. She said, never ask permission to be what you already are. Now fast forward about 5 years, and I'm here at Albany State College. Yes, college. And it is here where I finally started to understand her message. Here at Albany State, I found a place where I stopped asking for permission to be great. It was simply expected. I stopped needing to try to justify my intellect. It was the norm. I had found a place where I stopped trying to rationalize and define Sharika by someone else's rules. It was here at Albany State that I let go of trying to be who I thought I needed to be. And instead, I found a home filled with family where I would and could unapologetically and boldly be exactly who I was. It's good to be home, Albany State. Here, I established a foundation on which I would not only realize my potential, but I activated my passion so I could live within my purpose. Rams, it's good to be home. To come home to lessons that 18 years later still influence my journey. Words of wisdom from people like Dr. Hollis, who once gave me back a research paper, because whereas I may have been willing to accept a half effort, she was not. She taught me that my hard work was repayment for others who have willingly sacrificed for me. Or Sarah Baker, who everybody calls Sarah Baker, whether you were a Delta or not. Dr. Elaine Baker taught me sometimes the greatest display of my strength as a leader was in my ability to follow others. And to my line sisters, who 20 years later, their friendship still reminds me that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. That is the value of friendship that supports and believes in you, and I'm thankful for them all. It is because of these and many other lessons that took root right here, I sincerely count it as a privilege and an honor to be a member of the Ram family. Membership into the ASU family has given me the privilege, courage, and understanding to enjoy a journey that I could not have even imagined as a freshman in 1994. Now, I don't know about you, but I am glad to be a member of the Ram family. But just wait, because while membership has its privileges, it also has its responsibilities. Or as Luke 12:48 states, to whom much is given, much will be required. And family, these words ring true for us today. As Golden Rams, our degrees grant us entry into a prestigious membership made up of research scientists, educators, professional athletes, entrepreneurs, physicians, authors, and corporate leaders, just to name a few. Now, for those that have received a diploma from ASU, you've received more than just a piece of paper. We received a home where we can nourish our dreams and starve our fears, where we can embrace our originality and destroy stereotypes. But we must work to meet the responsibilities of receiving so much from our HBCU. Since its founding over 114 years ago by Dr. J.W. Holly, Albany State has served as an institution of opportunity for our community. Maturing from the Albany Bible and Manual Training Institute into Albany State University, our reach continues to widen. Growing from a graduation class of just 20 in 1909 to over 700 in 2017, our legacy continues to flourish. And I truly believe that there is a reason we call ourselves the unsinkable Albany State University. For we are a family of strength, and with every new crisis we face, we rise, stronger and more committed to our mission. And in the words of our alma mater, ASU has been and will continue to be an anchor upon life's sea for thousands, but only if we live up to our responsibility. As I said, membership has its privileges, but it also has its responsibilities, family. Now I challenge us to not leave Homecoming 2017 without a renewed commitment to this institution. That dollar you give may be the difference between that future educator returning to campus after his first semester. Every internship opportunity you provide may be the reason why that young woman can see what she has the potential to be. Every job offer you are able to connect a student with means the difference in our students getting past the first step on the corporate ladder. And if I do my part, I can stand a little bit straighter. I can stand in the boardrooms of Silicon Valley and know there are members from my home team on the way. So let us not just reap the rewards of membership, but let us also own the responsibilities and plant the seeds for a greater and brighter Albany State. And today, I am proud to be a group of sisters that have decided to not be passive in our membership. And it is my honor, on behalf of the spring 1997 line of the Delta Rho chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, to accept our responsibility in the form of the establishment of an annual scholarship to the university. Our first check here. Those are the ladies in black with the red roses, just in case. Now, current students, this is not a spectator sport for you. Your membership does not come with a no-work VIP pass. You too play a vital role in ensuring the strengthening of our legacy by living up to your responsibilities. And I get it. College life is hard. It's busy, and I know you did not come to Convocation expecting a to-do list. But surprise, here it is. And on this journey, it will continue to be interesting. My journey is still interesting. I mean, I'm trying to excel in corporate America, plan for my future, stay woke, text, call people back, read books, maintain relationships, give back, all while having perfect eyebrows, memorizing Bodak Yellow, eating low carb, and trying to get 10,000 steps in a day. It's a lot. But life won't be easy, but I promise you, it will all be worth it. You just have to own your responsibilities and stay the course. When times are dark, stay the course. When money is short, stay the course. And when that organic chemistry final comes along, stay the course. And as we continue as alumni to sow into you reaching your future, we just ask that you continue to deliver on your responsibilities. We ask that you embrace the lessons that are being shared by the wealth of knowledge your professors bring. Get up and go to class. Even that 8 a.m. class on Monday morning that is so hard to get up for, I remember. Still go. Use your resources. We talk about the richness of the membership of the ASU family. Use it. Reach out and connect with your alumni. You have not simply because you ask not. But most importantly, trust in the journey. For when nothing is certain, it is in those moments that anything is possible. Now, I've noticed a couple of you have been taking pictures of me while I've been giving my speech, and because I work at a small social media company, I have to repay the favor and take a picture of you as well. So if you're not supposed to be here, this might be the moment you duck, okay? All right, y'all ready? All right. All right, so I can take that back to Silicon Valley and show them my family. Now, let us all continue to remember that if both the past and the current members of the Albany State family not only embrace the privilege of our membership, but also the responsibilities, I am certain in my heart of hearts that we can work together to ensure that in another 114 years, this institution will still be a home where dreams are realized. A home where countless stories of success will be written, because here they will have the opportunity to explore a greater purpose, a chance to be a light for the world. It will be a place where other young women and men from towns just like Sylvester, Georgia, can find not only an education, but they can find a home. And in that home, they will add to their family. And because of that family, they will learn and they will know that they never have to seek permission to be what they already are. Thank you for your time this morning, family. Remember our responsibility, and may God continue to bless this university. Go Rams.
Gift for you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, we take a picture of you? Please don't miss the person's. Yes, the person's over there. Okay, we take a picture. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Nelson. Now you all understand why she and Dr. Shepard were supposed to be the speakers this morning. We are in the right place at the right time. And I think that was an absolute first with the selfie, wasn't it? So you all will be probably on the Facebook homepage soon. Thank you so much. So our next selection will be from the Marching Rams show band. Yes, you're ready? Thank you. And then we'll have some introductions from our athletic director, Ms. Cherie Gordon.
All right, good morning, everyone. I said good morning, everyone. On behalf of our coaches, our administrative staff, and our student athletes, I again want to welcome all of our platform guests, our faculty, staff, and our former student athletes, coaches, and administrators that have come before us. I'm going to pause for a moment and ask all of our former coaches, all of our former student athletes, all of our former support staff for ASU to please stand to be recognized. And can you remain standing for me? I just want to personally thank you for setting a strong legacy and tradition for Albany State athletics. As Dr. Shepherd has stated, and I've said to others before, there are not too many collegiate institutions at Division I, II, or III that has garnered over 106 championships at the conference level, that has over 8 individual national championships, and that has a national HBCU championship in football as well. So let's give these men and women a hand for their hard work, their sweat and tears. And to our student athletes, when they competed, their journey was a lot harder. It did not have the resources. They did not have the facilities. They did not have the support staff that even I, as a former student athlete, had when I journeyed in my day at Morgan State University. So just want to thank each and every one of you again for your commitment to this institution and the legacy and pathway that you paved for these young men and women here to our left to be here today. I want to talk about last year. Last year was a year of great change, but also a year of success. Dr. Shepherd talked about 106 conference championships. We added 3 more championships to that number last year. And I give that credit to our great coaching staff and the commitment of our student athletes. We were able to earn a women's cross country championship, a men's golf championship, an outdoor track and field championship in men's track right here in Albany, Georgia. And I'm not sure if CJ's here, but CJ won 2 individual national championships last spring in outdoor track and field. And last but not least, we earned this SIAC Commissioner's Cup. And what that means is we were deemed the best overall men's sport program in the conference. And for those alumni and coaches that stood, what I try to explain to our coaches and student athletes is that it's something about the blue and gold that people hate. I mean it. When our men's golf team went to the golf championship last year, they tried everything possible to first prevent us from competing. But there's a level of jealousy and hatred, and I say they want to be the blue and gold, but they're not the blue and gold. They want to be the blue and gold, but they're not the blue and gold. So I want you to know that our student athletes and our coaches wear the blue and gold with a great deal of pride. And I want to talk a little bit about Grover Stewart. He's our young alumni that's excelling. I had the opportunity to meet Grover last week in Indianapolis, and he wanted me to communicate to everyone here that how much he appreciated his journey here. But also charged me and our coaches to continue on our path of commitment to making this a progressive opportunity for our young men and young women. Because he said, Ms. Gordon, once I got here, it created a different picture of what reality is once you finish. And that's not just him being a student athlete, but him being a professional. On how he had to get education on how to interview, to be even considered to be a professional athlete. Sometimes we think that's just necessary to put on a suit and to interview at Facebook, or to interview at Chick-fil-A, or just to interview at the mall. But to be a professional student athlete, he had to be able to confirm to them that he was going to be a positive brand ambassador for the Indianapolis Colts and the other teams that he interviewed for. He had to articulate that he's able to communicate in front of donors, sponsors, the television, national television contracts and agencies. So I want to talk a little about that day and keep that in perspective on why we're moving in such a progressive manner in intercollegiate athletics and why we have to prepare these young people for life after college. Not only did we have success on the field of competition in the quarter competition, but we had incredible success in the classroom. We had 188 student athletes that were on the AD's honor roll, and what that means is they earned a 3.0 GPA or higher last year. And just last week, we recognized 7 student athletes that won national honors from the Director of Athletics Association for their academic accolades for earning over a 3.5 GPA. And then last year, we made some critical partnerships to work on incremental steps on enhancing the fan experience and our student athlete experience. And that was signing a partnership with University Tickets to ensure that our fans can purchase tickets online. So you don't have to come to the cashier. You can go online and buy your ticket. It can come to your cell phone. You can print it from your computer, and you can walk up and get into a game or an event for ASU athletics. And thanks to the help of Eric Tabor and his students, and Connie Williams and her support with students, we have a full production staff that launches, and I'll take it up against any other production staff in the nation, producing our own. We started our own sports network called the Golden Ram Sports Network. So whether you're here or not, you can always support our programs. The only sports we will not be streaming for is golf and tennis and track and field. But all of our other sport programs, if you're not here, you can support us by just going online and watching those young men and women and our coaches. And we launch our own online store. We have a lot of work to do, and Marvin's in the back, and we talked about it often, in protecting our brand, not just for athletics, but this institution. So we launched our own online store so we can control the messaging and brand and image of the blue and gold. So you may want to know what's next for ASU athletics and what's happening now. Well, football had a great start to the season so far, but it's not done. And so as Dr. Shepard said, a couple student athletes said, come inside of the stadium. I don't say finish your tailgating, pause your tailgating. Come on inside of the stadium. Those young men have had a rough journey since April until this day. And I have to give testament to them, those 7 seniors that met with me throughout this process, our coaching staff that has only been in place since June, and they have a 4-2 record of being 2-0 in the conference. That speaks volumes. And it wasn't alone. Our commitment was not to just winning, but improving their experience. And Mr. Howell has left, but I want to thank the facility staff because they stepped up and helped us. Those young men wanted a better locker room. And with the help of facilities and some resources, we were able to make that happen. And staff, we were able to make that happen. The volleyball team, everybody talks a lot about football, but our young men and Coach Skinner and his staff is doing an incredible job. They're on pace to put themselves in a credible position going into the championship. They're 11-7 and 11-3 in the conference. And for those that do not know, we have a women's soccer program that started this fall. They need your support as well. We're in our inaugural season. And then next weekend, next Friday, we're hosting our cross-country championship here. We're hosting the SIC Conference Championship in partnership with the City of Albany and the CVB here. So we have a busy year ahead of us, and we have some goals that are focused on, and we'll start that today with our alumni student-athlete reception, which is at 3 o'clock in Oreen Hall, is to engage our former athlete coaches and administrators. It's a great coach called George Williams. He's a track and field coach at St. Augustine's University. He's won over 38 national championships at an HBCU institution. And one of his mantras is, if you're not in the huddle, you don't know to play. So we're going to give you an opportunity to get in the huddle. And that first opportunity is today at 3 o'clock with our student-athlete reception. We're going to talk about the vision of ASU athletics, how you can support us, and then work in a collaborative effort on how we can make sure that we communicate the legacy and honor those that's come before us, because we've missed that mark. We've missed that mark, and it's my job, and I'm committed to making sure that we execute that initiative. We also need your resources. I said this to a group of business owners that have never been on this campus due to the help of one of our staff members about the competitive nature in higher education. And business as normal is just not okay in higher education and in athletics. And what I say, and I'll give football as an example, you have student athletes coming from Lee County High School with facilities better than ASU. And so when we step, or our coaches step, into those offices, and it's not just in football, it's all of our sport programs. Although our legacy and history is important, this generation of student athletes, facilities matter. Scholarships matter. So we want Gabe, Coach Skinner, Coach Moore to be successful, but if they don't have the 36 scholarships or the 9 scholarships as our competitors in conference and out of conference, or a penny to go step off campus and recruit those student athletes, that's not a formula for success. And so as I tell people, change is hard, but our realities in higher education and in athletics is very real to sustain success. Not only to sustain success, but to ensure that we can provide a model student athlete experience for these young men and women. And so we need you to be engaged in your commitment of just coming out into support and talk about how we can give back and help these young men and women, not just in athletics, but the university as a whole. And last but not least, we're going to focus on getting engaged in the community. Our goal is 3,000 service hours. That's 10 hours per student athlete. Due to the resources of Division II, we've just launched an app called Help the Helper, where we can track that and monetize each student athlete and coaches in sports, community service engagement. Because one of the things when you talk about sponsors, and I took a senior member with me to meet with Coca-Cola, we have to create our value proposition. And that proposition is not that we're just ASU and we're blue and gold, because everyone's selling that proposition. What makes us different than everyone else? And then the other part of that is how do you measure it? How do you measure success? So to say that we do community service or to say that our student athlete excels isn't enough. We have to say we have 188 students that have a 3.0 GPA or above, or that we did 3,000 3,000 community service hours, or we have 5,000 people that watch us stream on the internet. And I'll just end with recognizing our coaches and introducing our staff because they do an incredible job and it's not easy. And those that are here know, waking up at 5 a.m. And in college athletics right now, there is no off season. There is no off season. There is competition in the fall. It's called the non-championship segment. That's the way the NCAA calls it now. And then their regular season is the championship segment. So there's a huge time demand for our student athletes to excel in the classroom and on the field and quarter competition. So I'm going to recognize our staff, our coaches, and then I'm going to allow Gabe to come up and get everyone excited for the football game on Saturday. Our game is televised at 2 p.m. So I need a little help, although, and I told Gabe, our fans do not leave the home side. We need to spread the wealth a little bit because the camera points to the visiting side. And we want people to know that it's 26,000 to 30,000 people in the city of Albany on Saturday. So our game is televised, so I encourage everybody to wear your blue and gold and come inside the stadium and support. So I'm going to start with our administrative staff. I'm going to ask them to stand. And I think I saw him walk in the room. Our faculty athletic representative, Dr. Ofadal. Jackie Nicholson, she's our Associate AD for Academics, Compliance, and Student Athlete Development. Jeremy Falk just started last Monday. He's our Associate AD for Facilities and Operations. I think he's setting up for tailgating. Adam Okashwa, same thing, he's an Assistant for Facilities. We have Molly Gilbert, who serves as our Aquatics Director. Becky Bohr, who's our Head Athletic Trainer. And just to pause, these are one of the things from our student athlete experience. In-house, we didn't have any trainers last year. We transitioned to one, and now we have 4 trainers on staff to support our 13 sport programs and cheerleading. Jesse McIntyre is a trainer, Sierra Welsh, and Chesney Miller. Some of those are missing. Another part of our student experience that we had to improve and also to be in compliance was a strength and conditioning coach. So this year we committed the resources to invest in a strength and conditioning coach. Not only to invest in making our student athletes bigger, faster, and stronger, but to work on that wellness and nutrition. We just went through an email exchange about sleep and lack of sleep and how that impacts our student athletes. I can't say before we were having these type of discussions, but they've been a great added resource to the institution. Josh Ortegan, if you can please stand. And then Fred Suttles, the voice of Albany State University Radio, also serves as an academic advisor, and Miss Mildred Polite, who's new to our staff in athletics and academic support. I'm going to let Gage introduce his staff, and I'm going to quickly introduce our coaches and ask the teams to stand. So our head women's volleyball coach is Robert Skinner. Our assistant coach is Vernice Graham, who's an alumnus as well. Our men's and women's cross country and track and field coach is head coach is Kenneth Taylor. And team, please stand. Track and field, cross country, track and field, and volleyball. Women's softball is Amber Barker. And the assistant is Harley Roller. And the women's softball team, please stand. Our head baseball coach is Scott Hemmings, and our assistant coach is Davis Knapp and Aaron Everett. Baseball team, please stand. Men's golf, who won our championship in our first year in sponsoring the sport, our head coach is Gary Hilton. And our student athletes from men's golf, please stand. We have student athletes from Thailand on our men's golf team. Our cheerleading coaches are Portia Smith and Ashley Chun. And then I'll leave men's basketball is Michael Moore and Lamar Kareem. Men's basketball, please stand. And then women's basketball again is Coach Skinner. Women's basketball, please stand. Thank you, ladies. You can see we have a very diverse student athlete population and staff, and we're proud of that. So I will not hold you any longer. Just a reminder, the game is 2 p.m. We're televised live on ESPN3. Come out to the support, and I'll bring Coach G up, our new head football coach.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, everybody do this for me. Somebody told me one time that your brain can only tolerate what your rear end can tolerate. So everybody stand up just for 30 seconds here. All right, get you a little stretch in. All right, a little, okay. All right, shake off them mid-morning sleepy eyes. Get you a little 5-hour energy. We tell our players all the time, sometimes you gotta shoot up on what we call false enthusiasm. False enthusiasm appears and becomes real all the time. All right, go ahead, take a seat. Good, look, I got a yawn here in the front row. See, that was thank you. I had a friend of mine, he graduated from Dartmouth, and he had to do an essay on the entrance application. And they were asking him what was the greatest life lesson he had learned. He wrote one word: brevity. If you don't know what that means, it means be brief, brother, be brief. Okay? Look, good morning. Welcome home. On behalf of Dr. Dunning and Ms. Gordon and everybody up here that has spoke, I get to go last and behind a bunch of all-stars. So I'm not going to try to attempt to do what they have done. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what our team is about, and I want to introduce our staff. If these guys would stand up and remain standing, it's important for you to know who they are. There's some new faces and some people in the Albany State family. but please stand and remain standing. Our offensive coordinator and assistant head coach, Newland Isaac. We're going to go fast here. Our defensive coordinator, director of Dirty Blue Operations, Corey Peoples. Offensive line coach, Adam Hollingfield. Defensive line coach, Collins Ukwu. Linebacker coach, Nick Revais. Receivers coach, Sean Lampkin. Quarterbacks coach, Adam Miller. Corners coach, Darius Buck. The two most valuable members of our staff. These guys have made tremendous financial sacrifices to be here. Try not to get emotional as I talk about them. Put their lives on hold here. Our assistant receivers coach, Marcus Murray, and our defensive line coach, Jamie Isaac. And last but not least here, Albany State alum, been on the staff for 30 plus years. He's our tight ends coach. He's our alumni relations coordinator, and he's our Coach G sanity guy, Anthony Kelly. Please give him a hand. I cannot tell you the number of problems that those guys have helped me solve, in particular Coach Kelly. I want to thank him in front of everybody for just helping bridge the gap and keep everybody involved. And if you're going to the luncheon, he's going to rock your world this afternoon. And I just appreciate all those guys. Go ahead and sit down, guys. Thank you. Our seniors, really fast. I want to make sure we acknowledge them. They're the guys, the glue guys. There's a lot of talent in this group, and they have really done a great job of buying in, doing what we're asking them to do, and they're really, really good players. Oh, by the way, Nick Scott, Quadre Simmons, Quan Shingleton, Aaron Pierce, Emmanuel Brown, Zane Fields, who also is a rapper, Nick Harris, Ted Cofield, Marquez Thomas, Yusuf Muhammad, Quintavious Newt Martin, Marvin Lewis, and Stephon Whitehead. Please give them a hand. The biggest theme in our program, and it's been touched on by person after person after person up here, is family. Our guys, we all walk around with these bands on. They all say Albany State Football 2017. They all say family. And then they've got another acronym on there that means strike the stone. And we talk about it all the time. Our guys wear them to remind themselves what family is to us. They wear them to be identifying markers of who is in our family. It takes a special person to be a student athlete. Doesn't matter what the sport is, it takes a special person to be a coach. And I can tell you that it takes, as a head coach, when you're trying to hire folks, you want to hire folks that are going to impact the lives of young people on a grander and larger stage than just the athletic field. We're all in higher education, which means we're all into investing. You know, they tell you when you graduate, if you want to make money, go into business. If you want to be happy, go be a pastor or an educator, but you're going to be poor. There's a lot of people that are happy, but I see some well-dressed folks in here, so there's somebody, no, just kidding. We have these things in our program called ITs. We have an offensive IT, a defensive IT, a special teams IT, and then we have a coach's IT. They're things, they're slogans about core values, just like any business would have, or maybe any family has. And they're things we want to be known for, want to be earmarked by. Here's our coach's IT. This is how it reads: to transform the hearts and minds of our players while investing in their lives. You see, I don't want the experience here of an ASU football player with our staff just to be a 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, I hope not, year experience. I want our family to last 40 to 50 to 60 years. And it's, as you're sitting over there and you're thinking about this talk, you can see 1966. That family here lasts a long time. I want our young men once they leave our program, to be the guys who go transform their communities, who go transform their new team, whether it's their family, whether it's their business, or whether it's an actual team. So what I hope you see tomorrow when we go out there and play Morehouse, I'm sorry, I'm a coach, I gotta move around, okay? And when we go to play, I've never, you never showed up at a fight that you intended to lose, or we'd never been in a game that we intended to lose. And with Dr. Dunning being his last homecoming here, we fully intend to send you out on a high note, brother, okay? But what I hope you see is you see a team that transforms its talent by the way that it plays, with commitment for each other, with passion for each other, and for love for one another. And I hope you pause at some point during the game. Side note, you can only see it if you're at the game. So please, buy one less pizza, buy one less plate of barbecue, and walk in that game and be a participant. But I hope you pause and I hope you look at your neighbor and you go, that's a team I want to invest in. I'm not trying to get into your pocket, I'm trying to get into your heart. Everybody up here has talked about the responsibility of giving back to something or someplace that has impacted you deeply and greatly, and as you see as a launching point for the rest of your life. The evidence is in this room that you sunk your heart, your sweat, your education, and your tears into your academics, and you sat there in those classes with those professors that were more than just showing you where to find the answers, but begging you to go look on your own. And you launched out of here and you didn't make a life, you made an impact that went far beyond. So I hope as you walk around campus, you look at areas where you might see a need. Whether it's in the science building or the educational building. But here's what I can tell you, and Cherie is right. You'd be amazed at how far paint and carpet and some desks we just kind of straight up stole out of Holly Hall, which is getting close, so they were free. You'd be amazed at the impact that it's had on my young men in our locker room. I want to beg you to walk out this door right here, walk behind the stage, and look at our weight room, and then Google. Everybody's got a phone. That's why she's in business over there. Okay? Google. Don't Google Alabama's weight room. Don't Google Georgia's. Google Valdosta State's. Google West Georgia's. Google Alabama State, Alabama A&M. See what they have and equip that bald guy over there with a bunch of weight equipment, because we have what is the expensive thing. In Sanford Hall, we've got an entire gym. We have air conditioning, we have room, we have space. All I need you to do, I know we can't probably put a brick in it, but we can, guess what? We can put some bolts and screws and move some weight equipment in there, and that affects every single rear end, not just a football player, every single person in those stands over there. You can't measure that impact in time, okay, or in a dollar or a check, but you can measure it when those butts over there move from those stands to these seats right here. It's not far. But there are some classmates that you know that aren't sitting with you, okay? We just need you to buy in. And you already are in such a great and mighty way. And I'm the football coach, so I'm going to talk about football. But it's every single department. I've never worked at a place where I have felt so embraced. I've never worked at a place where I have felt so tight-knit. And I'm going to end with this small story. We have a young man on our team, he's a transfer. I've known him for a long time. He's been here for 5-6 months. I said to him, I said, what is the difference between this institution and your last institution? And he said, when I walk in those classrooms, those professors know my name, they know where I'm from, and they're trying to help me get me to where I want to go. They're not there. Yes, give them a hand. They're not there just to collect a check. They're not there just to write another research grant. Their investment is in those seats over there. I've never been more proud to be a part of a university than I am today. And I've never been more proud of a group of guys who have sucked it up. They don't make excuses. And guess what? Them Morehouse boys, they don't know what's coming at them. And I keep telling them, and I'm going to tell them again tonight, it doesn't have to be close on Saturday. It does not have to be close. And then when we graduate and go compete for jobs, we're going to kick their rear end there too. Thank you. Go Rams.
Ladies and gentlemen, the president of Albany State University, Dr. Arthur Dunning.
Thank you, Mr. Vine. And I also want to thank our speakers. Dr. Shepard, what a remarkable talk. And also, Ms. Nelson, Facebook has kind of transformed how we communicate. And to have you directly engaged in that is truly remarkable. And we thank you for sharing your comments with us. But let me say something about Cherie Gordon and Coach Gabe. Oftentimes you make a lot of decisions, and some are good and some are not so good. But those are two good decisions. Ms. Gordon has brought direction, she's brought focus, she's brought efficiency, technical competence, and a sense of ethics that is so necessary in athletics today. So I thank you for that. And Coach Gabe, we had 100 people to look at Albany State University. We spent a lot of days in Atlanta looking at resumes. We got down to 4. And Ms. Gordon came to see me and said, I think we have the skills, we have the talent, we have the caring to take Albany State to the next level. And I didn't get involved until we got down to those 4. And I met the 4 at a search firm in Atlanta. And I concurred. I'm looking for someone who can help young men have an adult in the room with them. Young men need that nowadays. And to listen to these 4 applicants talk, I was trying to visualize the dressing room, I was trying to visualize the sideline, I was trying to visualize the conversations that young men need from an adult in their life. And Coach Gabe just rose to the top in that discussion. So Gabe, I thank you for that. I thank you for your leadership. Dr. Shepard, the class of 1967, you brought your own cheering section, it looks like. But you've done what graduates of great universities do all the time. You give back. You cannot imagine the symbolism, not just the money, but the symbolism of giving, how important that is to young people who need to know how to model that. And I'm thankful for that, and I thank you for doing that. To the elected officials here, the mayor is always our cheerleader, she's always our leader politically in this community. I met her when President Black, she was in his office. So she's been in Albany for a long time. and she has stayed the course on providing leadership in this community and bringing a sense of poise, dignity, and class to that job. So Mayor, I thank you for that. And Mr. Michael Fowler, we thank you for your work. One of the things I notice in this community, anywhere you are in this community where people are trying to do things that matter and to serve this community, you're there. You've always been a friend to me personally. You've been a friend to this university, so I thank you for helping us as well. And Mr. William Johnson. Mr. Johnson is a graduate of this institution and has served it for a very long time and is moving the Alumni Association in a direction that I think is going to be healthy over time. So Mr. Johnson, we thank you for your leadership. I want to acknowledge the Holly family, any members are here today, but also the first president I met at this institution is President Billy C. Black. Billy is from Monroeville, Alabama, which is about 40 miles from where I grew up. And he's a good man, a decent man, and loved chemistry. And he has two extraordinary adult children in this community now. They're both physicians. They are at all the games and they support us. So this man left a legacy, not just to this campus with the Billy C. Black building that we were proud to name, but he also left a family that any man would be proud of. And so I thank them for what they've done. We have a lot of partying going on this weekend, and we're going to have a pep rally downtown tonight. And Mayor, we're going to ask everybody to have a good time and to drive safely and to not call you to get them out of trouble. So we think. We're going to have the parade Saturday morning. We're excited about that. We look forward to that. The homecoming game, actually it's going to be a homecoming scrimmage on Saturday afternoon. We expect Morehouse to come, but we don't expect them to take this very seriously because we're going to try to send them back to Atlanta with a lot of humility and a lot of understanding how we play serious football in Southwest Georgia. So I want to acknowledge also Delta Sigma Theta for their gift. And yesterday, Mr. Reginald Hunter gave me an envelope that had checks from 22 alums, and the checks totaled $8,650. So I thank them for what they do. And Mr. Hunter, I'm deeply appreciative of your work. But I also want to thank my wife, Karen. This has been a long journey that we've taken. She's supportive of student athletes, especially women athletes. She ran track in high school, and the students called her more than they called me. I don't know how they got. And I think maybe her patience is a little longer. I'm part of this country where people were unforgiving on taking care of your responsibilities. So I've got to work on a little more patience. She has a lot of patience with these young students, and I appreciate her deeply for that. She also is my intellectual superior. She is a smart woman, loves sports, but also very much engaged in this community, and this is something that I could not have done without her support, and I deeply appreciate that. So Karen, thank you. And I'll close. The two of us are getting ready to endow a scholarship that will be a perpetual endowment for an Albany State student. We're beginning to look at that, and we have a meeting next week with some people who will help us with that. But we plan to be engaged in Albany State forever. And she she is helping facilitate that, and I think I don't know what my role is in this. It's to help out and not just to talk. So thank you for that, but I wanted to acknowledge her support. Let me close by saying to our students, you have some remarkable adults who've been in front of you today. And you're blessed if you paid attention, you're blessed if you listen. And it's very difficult to get anywhere in this life without the kinds of speakers you heard here, the mayor and others who provided leadership over the years. This whole societal issue doesn't add up unless you have adults who are present and accounted for. So I hope you've been very thoughtful and very much attuned. And even though we have a person from Facebook, I hope you didn't have your phone in your hand checking out your Facebook. So thank you for what you do for Albany State, and thank you for enhancing our brand and taking care of the legacy that these people in front of you, especially the 1967 class who's back. You'll be here 50 years from now too. And keep that in your mind, and also keep this institution in your thoughts and also in your giving. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Dunning. So we are near the end of our time together this morning. I have a couple of announcements and a couple of thank yous. So I'm told that transportation to the Student Center for the luncheon will be just outside these doors. And of course, the luncheon is sold out, which is a good news for those of you who have tickets. On behalf of a grateful campus community, I want to thank the Homecoming Committee and all of those many subcommittee members and staff persons who helped to put this together. Would you please stand, those of you who helped to put this convocation and the Homecoming Week together. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Thank you. I also want to recognize the class of 1967, which is sitting here. Would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Thank you. So if you would please, we are going to now retire the colors, after which we'll have the alma mater. And I believe our cheerleaders have a special treat for us today. Is that right? And we will finish, we will walk out or march out while the band plays. Did I get that right? Great, thank you. So would you please stand for the retiring of the colors? Ethel Johnson.
Albany State, we dearly love you, whose walls are inscribed with knowledge so true. a union of work and inspiration, teachers of those who strive for success. To thee we give praises above all the rest. The jubilant colors of blue and gold will ever honor and ever behold. Thy name is an anchor upon life's sea, and sailing we put our trust in thee. In thee, dear school, we see all the best. To thee we give praises above all the rest. The Ram.
And now the cheerleaders with the band. Thank you.